Hey y'all, it's Bree. Welcome to my channel where I do reviews on products by black owned businesses because you know what? We support black owned businesses around here. So today's video is going to be a tad bit different. I'm going to be doing a best friend tag and I'm here with my best friend Allie. And I've never had a guest before, so she's my very first guest, which is great. That makes her my favorite by default. So we're going to start off by answering these questions. And question number one is, how did you all meet? So I'll say that we met in law school.
Yeah, I'll elaborate. So we went to Howard Law together, and we had classes together and stuff. So we crossed paths. Howard's a super small law school, but we didn't become cool for real until our third year when we were like everything together. Like we were clinic partners for our criminal justice clinic. So we were public defenders together. We were learning how to handle cases, go to court, all that stuff. We were doing all that together. We were on the e-board for our LGBTQ organization called Outlaw. So I was vice president. She was secretary. We were in the same law fraternity. We were in gospel choir together. And then I think we also had a class or two together at some point. So we were just basically every day together. So it was just, there was no way to not become super good friends because we did everything. All of my extracurriculars and co-curriculars and whatever. Autumn was there. Whoop, Bree was there.
And so like even with the criminal justice clinic, like we had to go to court together, but not only do we have to go to court together, every time they would give us an assignment, we have to do the assignment together. So it'd be like court in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening we'd be working together on assignments, working together on cross-examinations or direct examinations or what have you. So it wasn't just like, oh, well, you guys get to see each other during this class. It was like, we have to see each other during the class. We have to see each other in court. We have to see each other after court. We had to see each other at our outlaw meetings. And then we had to see each other at our outlaw e-board meetings because those were two separate things. We had to see each other at choir practice and then also at meetings for our fraternity. So it was almost like not a day went by where we didn't see each other. And in addition to that, we would still hang out with each other on purpose.
We would choose to spend time together even though we were chasing down crazy clients. We were doing file management. We were together 25/8 and we were still like, okay, so I'm gonna have to we're having a kickback, like you coming over, like you helping set up.
So I just feel like no matter what room I was in or what I was doing, Allie was gonna be there. Like the universe made it so that we wouldn't be apart.
The cosmos aligned.
Like we didn't really have a choice in the matter. Even if we weren't friends, we would still be around each other all the time.
If we hadn't become friends, I don't know what 3 year would have been like because we were like every day. I wish I was exaggerating. Every day there was something where I was like texting Autumn like, okay, we got to do this and that. We got to go find Mr. So-and-so. We got to go to the hospital to visit other Mr. So-and-so.
Right. Like, we got to serve subpoenas for the evidence.
We got to go to that Shake Shack or wherever and just get ignored by a manager while we're trying to just get basic information about a case. Like, we did all that stuff together. Just running around, running the world. We're just like, hey, we're out here. We were going out together. Like, whenever it was happy hour, we were like,
Big brunch energy.
The biggest brunch energy.
In DC, I don't know if y'all have experienced DC brunch, but if you haven't, you got to.
It's a revelation.
You got to. Big brunch energy.
Truly bottomless mimosas.
Truly.
Like, almost to a bad point.
So, the second question is, what was your first impression of them? So, I can't really say like real first impressions because like we stated earlier, we didn't really talk. So so I think like the first time I saw her, I didn't think anything. But then when we got partnered together for the criminal justice clinic, I think I thought to myself, I was just like, I think she's poised. Like it was over the summer and I think it was like a week. Yeah, and every day, like, she would dress up. Like, she'd have on dresses and some jewelry, and she would look really nice, and I think I would look like, okay, I guess I have something to do today. I'll apply clothes to the body.
No, dresses are just the easiest way to look like you have your life together, and when you just woke up 15 minutes before you're supposed to be somewhere. Just be like, oh!
That's true.
Just pull on a dress, put on a necklace, and people are like, oh, she has a coffee, so she must have had a very chill morning. It's like, I had to fight hard to get this coffee, okay? I was running, you know? So, no, that's an era of poise, just throw on a dress. Pro tip.
And then, like we had to interview each other, right? Because so our first assignment ever was to make an argument to the class why your partner should stay. Like if we were on a desert island and we only like let's say there were 10 spots but 11 people.
I forgot that's what the assignment was.
Your job was to convince the class why your partner should stay. And Allie was my partner, and I had to interview her. And so she would talk to me about the pageants that she would do. She was talking to me about the volunteer work she would do, and she would talk to me about the other legal stuff that she was in and other hobbies that she was interested in. And I was just like, wow, yeah, she's got it together. This is gonna be easy.
The air of having it together.
I'm like, look at all the substance and she dresses nice. Just easy. In the bag. I think I did a great job. They would have never voted her off the island.
But I'm trying to think what my actual first impression of you was. I feel like I didn't have, like, I was like, oh, she's kind of quiet or whatever. Like, and you always showed up and you had your laptop with your cute little, like, Howard girl on it. She had, like, that oversized sweatshirt and, like, the founding year on it. And I knew you were a senator. Like, I knew you were super into, like, student government stuff. And I was like, I don't know jack about student government at Howard. Like, so that's impressive. And then one of my other really good friends who's also on the e-board for Outlaw, my friend Ryan, he was like, no, like, she's super cool, like, she's this and this and that. Like,
I thought I was cool.
Yeah, he was like, oh, she's like she acts like she's quiet and reserved, but she's actually secretly super hilarious and sarcastic, and she just be like saying the stuff under her breath. Like, you just gotta like tune in on it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna look out for her. And then I think that was like our second year, because that was when we had classes together. Because first year you like super like segregated by sections, and we were not in the same section. So third year, when we got assigned to CJC together, I was like, okay, she's literally the only person in this class I've never had a conversation with, but that's fine. Like, there's, I think, like 12 of us, and literally, like, half the people in there were in my section from first year, so I knew them super close. And I was like, she's literally the only person I had never had conversations with. So I was like, but Ryan vouches, he says she's cool people, it's fine. So we do the interview where it's like they're gonna get voted off the island or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, like, she's a senator, so she's got some, like, you know, political clout. I was like, well, she's, like, well-spoken, and she does this and that. She also sings, like, she's, like, you know, she's a full package. So I get up there, and I'm, like, you know, basically defending why she should stay on the island. And our professor was like, did you know she worked at the prosecutor's office? And I was like, and so, like, that is a big, like, public defender baby red flag. Like, he was like, did you know she was at the prosecutor's office? I was like, and so then I had to, like, I was like, well, that just means she understands the other side and how they think, and that's clearly an asset. So I had to spin that real quick, and he was like, good job, counselor, because so I was like, I had no idea, like, it just never came up. We talked about everything else.
Because that was something I did, like, it wasn't I did it, like, right before law school, and so I took it off my resume. Like, at that point in time, I didn't even know how to write memos. You know what I'm saying? I was there.
You were a real baby lawyer?
I was putting things in alphabetical order. Like.
So he hit me with the, did you know this you? And I was like.
Right. It was a big this you.
And I was just like, I had to, like, channel the pageant girl and think on my feet. Like, well, that just clearly means that she knows how prosecutors think. And that's surely an asset for, you know, being a public defender and trying to figure out how you can best help your indigent clients. Meanwhile, I was like, girl, how dare you not tell me that?
Like, the whole class was dedicated to criminal defense. So it was just like, are you sure you want to be here? Like,
I was like, of course she does. Like, that's why she here. Right?
Like, do you know what we do? Like, we're helping people, and you were putting people in jail. Like,
you want to lock them up. We trying to get them out. That's not compatible. And I was like, that's not who she is. It was a learning experience. She did that internship, and she realized that she wasn't for it. So
hasn't made sense.
She hasn't made any sense. And you're just like, okay, she can stay on the island. I was like, I don't even know who got voted off the island, actually.
Maybe nobody got voted off.
I mean, nobody actually got voted off, but I feel like there was somebody
Some
whose
people
partner just
needed to get voted off because they opening statements not for everybody. Closing statements aren't for everybody. Trials aren't for everybody. Mergers and acquisitions, I don't know what to tell you.
That's clearly not for me because, like, I didn't even want to, like, Google what that was when I was in law school. I was like, y'all got it.
Don't want no parts.
No parts.
So the next question is, what's your favorite memory together? And it's hard. It's hard because there are many memories.
We spent every day together. For a full year. I cannot stress that enough.
And fun fact, I haven't seen her in 2 years. So.
That's right. It hasn't been 2. It's been one and some change though. It was New Year's leading into 2020.
Okay.
So it was like New Year's 2019 into 2020. So it's been a year and
almost a year and a half.
Yeah, that's still a long time though. So you can round it up to 2 years. So it sounds like you can round it.
So I it's hard. Like I said, I really like we had a barrister's ball, which is like law school prom.
Oh gosh, I think I know where you have to go with this. Sorry.
I don't.
Never mind. I don't.
And that was a good memory because we looked really nice. Like
you showed up like.
Like we both wore like these really nice red dresses. You know, like our hair was nice. We had on cute shoes. We had dates.
I thought when you started talking about barristers, I thought you were going to talk about when it was the day after
barristers. The day after barristers.
We went to brunch with a bunch of folks from our legal fraternity, Phi Alpha Delta. And then after that, we went to this bar, Pitchers and Catchers, I think. Oh, it wasn't Pitchers and Catchers. It was a League of Our Own, which is attached to Pitchers and Catchers. It's like the girl version of Pitchers and Catchers. And I was Morgan in D.C.
I'm going to actually tell you guys why that's one of my least favorite memories. The barristers was cool and all, and it was fancy. It was open bar, but like it was open bar, but I felt like I didn't get lit enough for it to be an open bar type situation.
Yeah.
But the very next day we had brunch, and brunch is becoming more litty. We leave the brunch, mind you, it's March. It's March Madness, and I love basketball. Y'all didn't know that, but I'm a big basketball fan. I love basketball.
Oh, that's another fun fact.
I was looking for my pen. I'm a Duke fan, so I have a pen that says Forever Duke, and I just...
That's another...
Anyway, so this is the year that we had Zion Williamson, we had RJ Barrett, like RJ and Zion, they both went top 5 in the draft, like they were really good. This was our year. Cam Reddish, she has a really nice dimple. Anyway, this was our year. So anyway, we leave brunch, and we go to the sports bar, where we are, League of Our Own is a sports bar or whatever, and they've got the basketball game on. And Allie went to Kentucky. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about college basketball, but Duke and Kentucky, it's like oil and water. It don't mix. It don't mix.
Way back. We don't even play each other that much anymore. We still hate each other just as much.
Like something really bad happened like 30 years ago. And
you had beef.
Christian Laettner, and well, everybody hates Christian Laettner anyway. But so anyway, that's where we're at with it. So we at the sports bar, and we're in an area where there's plenty of bars, and I can see plenty of Kentucky fans in their Kentucky shirts, like watching the games as we're walking down the street. And Kentucky lost, right? And I was like, I'm gonna be nice about it. But at the same time, I'm just like, bro, like they lost because they suck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, that's clearly not true. Okay, let's look at how many flags are up, and we can talk about who sucks. Let's count the flags, and then we can talk about who sucks at basketball. Okay.
So then Duke was playing right after. And I was walking by some Kentucky fans, and I was like, tough loss, huh? And they were like, yeah, but that was it. Like I didn't say anything with my mind. That wasn't enough. Like I just knew like Duke's about to play, and we're about to win the whole thing. Like we're about to go to the Final Four. So I'm watching the game. We had left the sports bar and went to a different bar.
We
went to a hookah bar.
Like a little hole in the wall.
And the hookah bar didn't even sell alcohol. They just sold hookah. No alcohol, no food, just vibes and smoke.
Just vibes and smoke. Just some lung cancer and some LED lights.
So I'm sitting there watching the game, and we're doing okay. Like it's a tight game. We're playing Michigan State, and well, we lost.
Sure did.
We lost, and I had a both internal and external breakdown.
Yeah, she lost it. She was inconsolable.
I had a whole breakdown, and I was so sad. I couldn't believe it. I'm just like looking at the score, like
Yeah, I remember she was just so shocked because she had been like, she reserved her gloating about UK losing for me. Like she didn't she didn't say it to the random UK people she saw sitting around at the UK watch bar. No. She reserved all of that like, tough luck, better luck next year, buddy. Like we were playing on the team or something. And then Duke lost too, and she was just like, so about.
It was like a matter of hours later. Like a matter of hours.
The humble
like,
pie was served piping hot that day.
Nothing I could do about it. Like that bar that we were at didn't sell alcohol, and I'm like, everybody deserves a shot, bro. So like everybody that was in that bar, including people I had never met, I had took them to the bar next door that actually sold alcohol, and I bought shots for everyone. And I don't even take shots. I wasn't even a shot taker.
Yeah, she's still not.
Even a shot taker.
She didn't even do shots with me in Miami. She left me out there.
And so yeah, that's on the list of things that weren't so happy for me.
That's a fun, like, I love that memory. Like, just that day, like that after Barrister's brunch day, we were big lit.
It was lit all day.
We were just running around town. We
were
also didn't have to pay for brunch, so we were like, all right, we can pay for more everything else.
we were outside. The weather was good. Like, we were lit at brunch. The sports bar we went to actually did sell drinks, and so we were able to get drinks there.
People were playing video games because they also have a little video game thing. So we were playing like super old games. I don't remember which game it was.
Some man bought me a drink, and upstairs at that little sports bar,
pitchers and catchers.
It was a whole other type of party going on. It was like a bunch of men up there that didn't have shirts on.
Yeah, it's a gay bar.
They weren't wearing shirts.
It's a gay bar.
like
I reiterate.
Like you walk in and it's sporty and there's games and stuff, but upstairs though, it was a whole situation.
Well, they couldn't necessarily have the lesbian Barbie topless too.
It was a whole situation, and it was. So we went to brunch at like 11. I remember it being early.
It wasn't.
And so by the time we get to the sports bar, it might be 3 p.m.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It might.
I didn't go home that day until 9, 10 o'clock. I was out solid almost 12 hours.
All day
long.
All day.
Like, I don't even know. It was a whirlwind. We were like, I remember there was one point we were like blasting City Girls in the car because that was right when like everybody was first getting real into City Girls. And so we were just like riding around like it's a hot mess.
We deserved it though. We worked really hard.
Oh, we worked so hard.
We worked really hard.
You're behind off all of law school, so that 3-0 year you can work super hard, but also do this weird brand of like coasting where you're still working at 100%, but like everyone's expecting you at 300%, so that 100% isn't good enough. But you're still like, whatever, I'm on my 3rd year, as long as I get these grades and I get this.
Right,
because as long as I get this JD, I'm good.
At that point in time, like your focus is different. Like 1 year, yeah, 1 year, you know, like let's say be focused on grades because you're not gonna get jobs and blah blah blah. But 3 year, like you're more so focused on the job than the grade.
Yeah.
So it's like if I have to prepare for an interview and I also have to brief the case.
Interviews coming up. Every time, every single time the paid opportunity is going to take precedent, I can look up a brief later. Or I can just not raise my hand because they don't cold call usually after the first year. So I was just like, I'll just lay in the cut and look at my little Quimby brief and feel good about my interview. I'm trying to think, my favorite memory. I think so our 3rd year I had never taken an actual spring break trip. Like I was always either too broke or I had something else going on, right? So 3rd year, like I told Autumn, like I had never actually been on a spring break trip. She was like, all right, we're going to Miami. And I was like, okay, like, you know, people say stuff, it's like, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And I was just like, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, Autumn is not that person. When she says, like, we're going to do blah, 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 she's already planning it. So she was like, no, we're going to Miami. And again, I was like, sure. So then she was like, all right, so I found this. I found we can do this and that. We can go to Senor Frogs. I found this boat party we can go to. I was like, oh, she really out there going to Miami stuff. So we booked tickets, we get our little hotel room. Miami it was such a good time, but it was also one of those just like show kind of things where it was like everything was going wrong. But also we were having such a good time while it was happening. Her wallet got stolen while we were at a bar.
And everything was in that wallet.
Everything, like her ID, her cash,
my debit
card,
my like the keys to get into where I live.
Yes, her dorm key, like everything. Her whole life was in this little like Vera Bradley little like little zip up wallet thing. Because we went into this bar, we were walking down the street trying to find what we were going to get into because we were going to a different thing, but it didn't start till later. So we're like, okay, like let's just like walk the strip, find a bar, whatever. So we're walking by and this dude was like, hey. It's $5 cover for women and you get a shot at the door. And so we're like, all right, let's do it. So we pop in, we pay our $5 or whatever.
At this point in time, I have my wallet.
Yes, so she has her wallet, gives her $5. I give my $5, we go in. They set up the shots. I get ready to take a shot. Autumn's like, oh, can I get some orange juice for a chaser? They give her the orange juice. I go 1, 2, 3, and she dumps her shot in the orange juice. That's why I said she doesn't do shots. She abandoned me in Miami on my shot. So I had to take this terrible clear tequila shot all by myself. No line, and and she was just like 1, 2, boop. And I was like, how dare you, the betrayal. So literally in that time, like this all happens in like a minute and a half. Her wallet is gone. We're looking all through the club. There's like this little white couple like, oh, I didn't see anything. I'm still pretty sure the boyfriend did it. But anyway, so we're running around, we're looking for her wallet. We didn't find it until the day before we left. But by then we had been in, I don't know how many bars with that shit was.
The problem was, it's just like, some places are going to ask you for your ID, which I do not have.
I remember part of what you did. We wound up going to an internet cafe and printing out a picture of her military ID.
And my passport.
And her passport. And so, because she had 2 different printouts, they were like, okay, like you wouldn't have 2 different kinds of forgery, right? All right, let's do it.
Like serious forgery. Like it's not like some like picture of some fake driver's license. Like both of these are
federal documents.
Yeah. Because I was then worried about getting back on the airplane so I can get back to DC. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about like ID to get in the bars. I'm gonna show up at the airport.
How we getting home?
I'm gonna show up at the airport.
We got class.
With just like a suitcase full of clothes.
We had class on Tuesday.
And the people from TSA told me that if I could bring multiple forms of identification, and I'm like, I don't have no identification. But they said, well, if you could bring a printout of some identification, we can let you on the plane.
Which sounds sketchy. Like TSA, that's why y'all's clearance rates are so bad. Because they were like, if you just bring us a couple of printer copies of it, we'll be fine. Like, you could just forge multiple things. That's
all I had.
Yeah, but we made it work.
We did, but like there was sometimes like we'll go to the restaurant and I'd be like, oh yeah, can I get a glass of Cabernet? And they'd be like, no.
Yeah, it was a hot mess.
Like, there were some things I couldn't do, but it was like the first night I think we went to Single Frogs, and I was just banking on them trying to get whoever was working that night to remember who I was. Like, remember, I was just here yesterday with a valid legal ID. Remember that?
Like, we were worried about if we'd be able to get in a drag brunch. We didn't have any problems. So they were like, come on in. Like, who cares? It's my
Shots.
Right. Like, they're like, we're just going to pour it straight down your gullet.
Like, have you ever been to Bottomless Mimosas brunch where they were also giving you liquor?
Because that was what Brunch with Senor Frogs was. They're like, okay, we got these different kinds of mixed drinks that are basically bottomless for the duration of the brunch. And then after the brunch was over, then it was back to regular Senor Frogs party. So it was like people standing on chairs. They're pouring the like weird little frog shots just straight in your throat. Like,
all inclusive.
All inclusive. It was a fantastic time, even if it was a hot mess. Like, I wound up getting into a whole argument with this dude because he grabbed this girl's behind in front of me, and he tried to say he didn't. So we got into. There were many negatives and drawbacks to this trip.
People saw him do it.
It was literally like the girl was like, "Hey," and I was literally like, Autumn Bree was standing like right in front of her, like so I had a clear line of vision to her behind, and dude was like. Honk and then try to turn around and be like, oh, I don't know what happened. I was like, bro, we all saw you do it. And once I called him out, everyone else was like, yeah, I saw it too. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. He's like, man, y'all worth be crazy. And I'm like, we all saw you, sir. You could try it. I could. Like, so yeah, he wound up walking away. That was at that City Girls show that was like half canceled, but not quite canceled. It was
weird. Like the City Girls, they were in Miami. Like I think they might have been performing.
Remember, that was still when JT was locked up.
Oh, really?
It was still just in Miami. It was just in Miami. JT was still doing time at that point.
Yikes.
She got out a couple months after that, but she was still doing time.
So we were there.
City girl.
We were there, you know, waiting to get in, and like the police showed up and some other emergency vehicle, and was just like, we're not letting people in.
And then we saw on Instagram that the show had happened at some point. We were like, when and how? Because they weren't letting anybody in. We were there when the line. It never added up. I still don't know exactly what happened.
It was very strange. I'm just glad, like, the tickets weren't really expensive.
Yeah, I think they were like $10, $15 or something.
Yeah, like, it wasn't really expensive, especially for what we were gonna get. Like, we were gonna get a performance, you know.
Yeah, like. But yeah, so I think Miami, as much of a hot mess as it was, is still one of my favorite memories.
In addition to that, we both left our debit cards at Fat Tuesdays.
I forgot about that because that Fat Tuesdays was super weird.
And mind, we waited in line for almost an hour.
Oh, it was definitely an hour.
To get into Fat Tuesdays. Got in there, food was mediocre, and they just never gave us our debit cards back. And I don't know, like, did the daiquiris just really have us thinking that they did give us our cards back?
I think we were just so frustrated with the experience because it took us forever to get service. It took us forever to get our food. Like, it took us a minute to get our, like, they got us our daiquiris pretty fast. But it took us forever to get a waitress to even come into the room. The place looked weird and like they didn't have half the chairs in there. It was all dark and haunted looking. They pretended like
they were at capacity, and then you walk in there and
it's dead
like,
empty.
Look at all the space.
It's dead empty. It was the only place in Miami that was literally, you could see the floor, the whole restaurant. You could see the entire floor.
It's so weird.
There were not people.
Like in that long line, like why? But we didn't realize that we had left our debit cards until like midnight. Because we were about to go somewhere else, and it's like, okay, like before we leave the hotel, like let's just make sure we've got everything. And just like,
don't neither of us got no money. I think we wound up like kind of cutting around the line and talking to the bouncer dude, being like, we were here like 2 hours ago, and y'all never gave us our cards back. He was like, oh, she talking about I was here and I didn't let y'all in. I was like, you're full of it. Like that's absolutely not what happened. You weren't even who let us in. It was a hot mess. But they gave us our stuff back. We like ran back to our little hostel, put our makeup on, and I think we were actually going to that City Girl show.
Oh, and then the very next day, not only did I not have a debit card, I didn't have anything else.
Yeah,
everything was gone. I had my phone, so I think I cashed out Alex some money.
Yeah,
so that like I could get food and stuff, cause like I don't have no cash, I don't have no debit card, I don't have nothing. I can't even go to the smoothie store and order a smoothie, without making sure that Allie was there, because Allie had some money, So
it was lots of Cash App and PayPal and back
thank you for that,
Like, I just remember the tattoo dude, and you were like, okay, so I don't have a real ID, but I do have these. He was like, whatever, get on the table. Like, he just didn't care at all.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that we had got tatted.
Yeah, we got tattoos.
We didn't tell the
that
people.
was about to be the next story. After we went to drag brunch, and we were just like, all right, like we've been thinking about it for days. Like we've seen these girls with some really cute tattoos. We're like, we want tattoos. Like those are so adorable. Like I love tattoos. I have multiple already. So like, let's do it. Then Autumn uses her wallet. We're like, okay, how are we gonna get these tattoos?
I don't have an ID.
Don't have ID. We go to the little internet cafe. We print out all her little like ghetto, raggedy looking little like passport printouts and stuff. So we go to the dude, and he's just like, whatever. Hop on the table. We're just like, you don't even want to, like, he barely even looked at the printout or whatever.
I'm just like, this is me. He's like,
sure, hop on, let's do it.
So now we've got matching tattoos.
Super cute.
Or like, are y'all even real best friends if you don't have matching tattoos?
If you don't have a body part that matches, can you really say you know a person? I feel like you can't. There's no way you know them. She's trying to make me sign a contract. I'm like, girl, the permanent ink is the contract.
I wanted to make her sign a friendship contract in case next week she was like, you know what, I thought about it, and I don't want to be your friend no more. And now I've got matching tattoos with somebody that won't talk to me.
But you would think the matching tattoo would have convinced her that I was in it for the long haul enough. Like I already was just like, yeah, let's get these matching tattoos, and she's like, all right, but I want you to put your full government name on the line. I'm like, I put my body part on the line, so I think that's enough.
I wanted some clauses and then some signatures behind that clause.
We're not doing no clauses.
We're
not doing no clauses.
But she said no.
I sure did. Yeah. She asked the tattoo dude if she was like, would you draft your contract? And he was like, if you don't get up here and get this tattoo.
It's like, ma'am, I do artwork on people's bodies.
I draw on people with needles. I know nothing about contracts.
It's like, hurry up before I change my mind. You don't even got no ID. Like, I was gonna try you another question, but the video's getting long.
I mean, we're gonna have to edit some stuff down clearly.
As always, support Black women, believe Black women, and support Black-owned businesses. And I will see you all in the next one.